Hello tech enthusiasts, I'm Lonnie Laub with STI. Today we're going to be talking about Dell's PowerEdge R750. This is Dell's most versatile server in my opinion. This is like the Swiss Army knife of servers. So saddle up Boy Scouts, put this one in your back pocket. It's time to talk tech. Let's talk about some of the uses that we've seen our customers actually use this for. Virtualization, highly used. We're talking about server, desktop, application virtualization. This thing will handle it. When it comes to things with high input-output, any type of database or analytics, this server will handle it as well. High performance computing. We've got GPUs that we can put in here. There's all sorts of great memory configurations that we can put in here. So we've got room for AI, we've got room for machine learning, blockchain. You can do a number of new cool things with this server. Not only that, we've got a ton of storage options. So you can do a storage build out with like a NAS box or a vSAN or any of those applications. Let's talk variants of this server. So there's 3 different variants. All of them versatile. 2 of them kind of pigeonholed into either the storage or the heavy compute loads here. So we've got the standard R750, and that will do almost everything very, very well. The compute version of this one is called the 750XA. This one's designed to have GPUs in the front of the unit, and it's very tuned in with CPU temps and like just keeping everything streamlined, cool, like very high compute, high heat. We got to be extremely efficient with all that. So Dell took that into consideration. Great. XS, the 750XS, that's storage based. So it's very storage driven. So you can do a lot more with storage if you're going to do something like that. Let's get into some of the more nuts and bolts and components of what this server actually takes in it, the hardware. CPUs, we're using Intel's 3rd generation Xeon Scalable processors, an upgrade from the 740 previous generation from the 2nd gen. We take the silver, gold, or platinum CPUs. We can go up to 40 cores per CPU and a max of 270 watts per CPU. So we've got beefy systems if we want. We can put just a normal everyday CPU in there as well, be just as good. Depending on what you're trying to do, we can take care of this for you. RAM. We've got 32 DIMMs that we can install in these servers. 16 if it's a single CPU application. Not many people do that, but we've got a few. Up to 64 gig registered DIMM sticks, so RDIMMs, that we can put in here for a max of 2 terabytes of RAM. We've got load reduced RAM that we can put in here as well. Just, it's not registered, it's only buffered RAM. Up to 250 gig sticks we can put in here for a total of 8 terabytes of RAM if we need that. So those LR DIMMs, we can get a ton of RAM in these machines. What about storage? One variant of this, we can actually use 3.5 inch drives. It'll take 12 3.5 inch drives in here. On the 2.5 inch variants, it'll take up to 24 in the front. Then we've got an option to put 2 or 4 in the risers in the back. Total of 28 2.5 inch drives if we get to that point. But you don't have to do the full 24. We've got an 8 bay version or a 16 bay version. This happens to be the 24. We've got all of them sitting right there for you. So with the drives, we're looking at 6 gig or 12 gig SAS, SATA, or SSDs. We can also do NVMe drives. We've got Gen 3 or Gen 4. We can do up to the 24. We can't put the NVMe in the back. Up to 24 here, that's going to be non-hardware RAID. We can use a software RAID that's on board if we need RAID, or just use them as JBOD, just use basic old disks on this. If we're going to do rated NVMe, these last 8 slots, that will actually hook up to a hardware RAID, which I'll talk about in just a second when we start going through all the different RAID cards that are available here. But we actually do have hardware RAID in this generation of Dell's PowerEdge servers. Awesome, love it, excited about that. For dedicated RAID cards, we've got Dell's PERC line of cards. So on board, it's the Dell S150 software RAID, fully capable, great RAID. Not many people use it because it's a software RAID. When it comes to a value RAID, we're looking at the H345. That's a great entry-level, just value-based RAID. When it comes to performance, we'd be looking at Dell's H745 and H755 RAID cards. Those are the ones that are going to give us all the hardware RAID, all the performance that we'd expect out of these very versatile, very powerful systems. For NVMe RAID, we want to look at the H755N for NVMe. We can only do 8 drives with this, and that's a hardware limitation on the actual card. It will only allow plugs. You can actually plug in 8 different cables to match those drives. With that said, Dell has also included the boot optimized server storage. That's the BOSS drives. Love that. So that is 2 SATA M2 SSDs in the back, hot swappable, and we can load our OS on there, or our hypervisor, or our whatever it might be. We've got those in the back, so then we can have our storage up front. Boot optimized storage in the back, BOSS. I feel like there's a joke there, but maybe we won't do anything. All right, let's pop the hood. Just like all of Dell's servers, anything blue, you have to power the system down in order to remove it. Anything orange, hot swappable. You can actually take this thing out while we're powered on. You don't have to take everything down. The risers back here are blue. 4 different risers in this. I'm not gonna get into that yet, but ton of configuration here. I'm gonna get into the network cards first. So with network, we've got LAN on motherboard, the LAMs. We've got 1 gig, the Broadcom 5720, tried and true, awesome network cards that are in here, dual port. We've also got the option to go to a 10 or 25 gig card in that LAM spot. They don't allow 40 gig anymore. They're kind of getting ready. They're phasing that out, getting ready for 100 gig, and that's going to be the future. So 10, 25 if you need to upgrade. And then we've got the 1 gigs that come in standard. Additionally, we've got a mezzanine card that we can get in here and add more network interfaces. We got fiber or SFP, copper, whatever it needs, we can get it in here. Dell's now following the OCP, the Open Compute Project Standard 3.0, and this means that we're not doing anything proprietary. These cards can be used in different systems and all over the place. So that's great that we're getting everything standardized. This is going to be the way of the future when it comes to network and communications and whatnot going into these servers. Now for the PCIe configuration. As you saw, we've got 4 different risers that we can get into this server. And there's any number of configurations we can do with PCIe and with putting drives in the back. The risers that I've got currently, they're all PCIe 8X or 16X lanes. We've got up to 8 different PCIe slots that we can use in these servers, 8X and 16, a little combination of those, up to 6 16X slots if we want all 16X slots. So there's a lot of room to really get these, get your GPUs, get things that are a little beefier in here. Like I said, do that high compute loads. This is going to be a great solution for that. Speaking of GPUs, let's get into that. We can do 2 double width GPUs in here that'll do a max of 300 watts, max 300 watt power draw. 4 single width 150 watt or 6 single width 75 watt GPUs. So we can pack in GPUs if we need to for anything that you might be doing GPU wise, anything blockchain, crypto, anything like that. If you're rendering, doing 3D rendering, it's a great solution for that. When we've got all these beefy components in here, we're gonna need power supplies that will support that. When it comes to power supplies in this unit, Dell is both Energy Star and Climate Saver compliant in all the power supplies that they offer. We're also 80 plus platinum and titanium rated. Platinum on the 800, 1400, and 2400 watt power supplies, titanium on the 1100 watt power supplies. So we've got a lot of room to get a lot of power to these components, really make it scream, do what you need to do. What operating systems will go in this box? We've got Microsoft Server 2016, 2019, and 2022. So Microsoft is covered when it comes to everything that Microsoft currently supports. VMware, when it comes to their vSphere suite, we've got 7.0, U2, I believe. Anything above that, it will take when it comes to VMware. Red Hat, 7.9, anything above that. Ubuntu 20.04, and anything above that. lots of other Linux variants that we can get on this box. It's going to be a great box for anything, any operating system that is current. The hardware is going to match the software. We've talked operating system, we've talked hardware, but what happens when we're trying to manage a bunch of these servers? Dell, as always, they have their wonderful iDRAC system. So that's the remote access card that now gives us, it's like up to 5,000 different measurements on sensors and stats about the server that we can get just from the iDRAC. That's amazing. Too much in my opinion, but as long as we've got something helping, as long as we've got some sort of software helping us manage all this, perfect. So dedicated port for the iDRAC, Express or Enterprise available. We can get in, remote manage, remote monitor, this beautiful thing. Dell, with their system management packages, they also, any open manage that Dell offers can go on this box, as well as Dell's Open Manage Mobile, which allows you to manage everything remotely, and you can also read the front bezel statistics. So instead of having the LCD screen on these, you've got an app to do it. It's like the future. With all that said, Dell's R750 is a great system at a great price. Introduced in 2021, it's a lot of great technology. We're selling a bunch of these. You can trust that you'll get that great system and that great price. Contact us here at STI. We'll build it up custom for you, get it to you quickly, and you can have peace of mind with every server.